Hello friends and welcome back to the channel, where today I want to spend just a few minutes talking about this post here that Kabam put up late yesterday. And in this post they're talking about the brand new season of AQ, which starts pretty soon. So new bosses, new mini bosses, new modifiers for the map 7 and below players. Also talking about how July, which is next month, is going to be a raids month. So regular AQ going to be on the shelf, and instead we're going to have 4 straight weeks of raids with different bosses and mini bosses each week. Now, me personally, I am not terribly excited about the prospect of a month full of raids. My interest in raids has kind of cratered over the past several months, but that's really beside the point, not really what I want to talk about in this video. Now, this post is pretty lengthy, so you'll be forgiven if you missed this section, but buried about halfway down the page here is this section called Rewards, and it says, Nightmare Raids will feature a different final boss chest reward identity than regular raid weeks. Instead of the usual chest, you will gain a 7-star Saga Champion Selector token that can be traded into the Glory Store. So next month we're going to have 4 different weeks of raids. There will be 4 final boss chest rewards, so you can gain a total of 4 of these Champion Selector tokens. And then if you gain all 4, you can trade them in for a 7-star Champion Selector. Now, the reason that I'm kind of interested in talking about this is because of the pool of champions that you can select from at the end of next month. So the pool is Invisible Woman, Nightcrawler, Captain Marvel movie, Mr. Sinister, and Ultron. And what is notable about all 5 of these champs is that they are either incredibly difficult to get in the case of Ultron, or otherwise totally unavailable right now. So Invisible Woman was available all the way back in February of last year during a Valentine's Day event, and she has not been available since. Nightcrawler was the first Saga Chase champ way back in like April-ish of last year. You could get him for free, but the dupe cost money. Similarly, Captain Marvel movie was the arcade games Chase champ way back in like, I don't know, June or August or something last year. Again, you could get the dupe via the Magnetron crystals, but otherwise you had to pay for the dupe. Mr. Sinister was available in the Glorious Games Saga Chase. Again, the dupe cost money. He was also available, I think, during the summer sales and the Banquet, but again, money there too for the dupe. And then Ultron, available currently as a very rare drop in the raids chests. And actually, that's how I ended up pulling him for the first time. I got super lucky. But otherwise, I think he's only been available like during the Banquet as well. So the point is, you know, these champions aren't paywalled necessarily, but 4 out of the 5 of them you literally cannot get in the game right now. Now, what is interesting about this to me is that it would appear that we are finally starting to see Kabam like release the lockdown on some of these rare and exclusive and otherwise unobtainable champions. And more importantly, they're going to be made available again for free-to-play players to earn as well. One of the points that I made in my Wheel of Fate guide that I put out last week or the week before is that some of the champions that you really want to use, don't necessarily need to use, but want to use for these fights, are otherwise like completely unavailable to you. Like Mr. Sinister in particular was the example I used. Quest 1 Bullseye, if you have a Sinister as a 7-star, that fight is absolutely nothing to you. Otherwise, you're stuck using a less optimum counter, potentially using some revives. So if you are a person in Alliance who is thinking about doing these Nightmare Raids, there is a huge benefit for you to kind of take that leap and do it, because getting access to one of these 5 exclusive unavailable champions is really, really good. So in order to kind of drive home the point I want to make here and tell you why I think it is so important that Kabam is finally allowing these champions to become available free to players, I put together this chart here, and in particular I want you to look at the yellow and red slices. So the yellow slice represents champions that are currently unavailable anywhere in the game right now. So we're talking Mr. Sinister, the Glorious and Gifted Guardians, the Omega Days champs. You cannot get those champions anywhere right now. And if you add that to the red slice, which represents champions that are only available through content, like Maestro, or exclusive like the Deathless champions, or very difficult to obtain champs like champions in the Loyalty and Incursions pool, which you only get a couple shots per year at. If you add those 2 slices together, you're looking at a full 1/3 of 7 stars in the game are difficult or impossible to obtain right now, and that feels like a lot. And moreover, it feels like this percentage is currently getting larger and larger because we're seeing more of these champions locked to double tracks, to sales events, and less champions becoming available for free. I think when we talk about content like Wheel of Fate, which really places heavy roster demands on you, more so than skill demands, having an increased availability of 7 stars is very, very important. And for a player who missed out on some of those exclusive champions last year, getting to choose one now, critical for their success in a quest like Wheel of Fate and any future content that Kabam tries to put out. So hopefully this is a signal of sorts from Kabam that they are finally ready to make some of these unattainable and exclusive champions available to free-to-play players more frequently in the future. And again, it's been like a calendar year or more for some of these champions. Getting one for free, even if it is a year later, doesn't really seem that bad in comparison. For me, I already have Mr. Sinister. I ended up using an Awakening gem on him, so I don't really need the dupe. I'm going to be looking for the dupe on Captain Marvel movie, which I didn't get when she was in the saga last year. Invisible Woman, I'm really not excited about at all. I think she needs a buff. Nightcrawler, pretty good. Ultron, very good. I have him duped as well. I pulled him, luckily, from a raid chest, like early on in raids, and then I used a gem on him at some point, so yeah, for me, Captain Marvel movie dupe is going to be the way. Let me know in the comments below who you are looking to pick up from this selector if your alliance is going to be doing raids, or nightmare raids rather, all of next month. As always, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.